Konami sprung a survey on the world. That was interesting.
Yeah, so Konami, everyone's favorite developer, is apparently, after slash and burning everything they had, are trying to kind of get back into, gamers' good graces by looking at what we might want to see them bring back, which is hilarious because, I mean, what does this really mean? Konami's already basically said that they have. I mean, they've shown little interest in console games. So are we going to get, like, mobile versions of these? So I'm just going to run through the list real quick.
They're called it a Heritage Game Survey?
Yeah, a Heritage Game Survey.
I'm going to take it right now while you talk.
And that's going to be important to something I bring up later. But they bring up Rocket Knight, Bishibashi, Parodius, Sunset Riders, Contra, Suikoden, Gradius, Track and Field, Bomberman, Castlevania, Goemon, Zone of the Enders, and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Vandal Hearts. Some of these, I mean, are pretty well beloved in the retro gaming scene, and I think people would love to see them back. As much as I love shooters, Gradius is not my favorite, but I'm sure people would love to see a Gradius 6. Parodius is fun. I love Rocket Knight. I was not a huge fan of the one they did on the 360, maybe the PS3. But, Bomberman, hey, that's a Hudson property, and who wouldn't want to see that come back, and done well. I'd like to see a new Track and Field. The last one they did was a lot of fun. So I think they're doing this to kind of curry favor. I mean, these selections are very much catered towards a more hardcore audience. But the article that brings it up and wants to throw problems at it, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to defend Konami, but the subheadline is, seems like they forgot two key IPs, and they go on to talk about how it's missing Metal Gear and Silent Hill, and it's like, those aren't exactly heritage. The next Metal Gear game comes out next week. Silent Hill, they just axed the last Silent Hill. So, look, we all have issues with Konami, but I mean, we don't need to create issues with Konami. There's already so many that exist.
I just took the survey. The other reason why those two franchises might not have been in the survey, for the reasons you said, but also this isn't just for console. They might be interested in doing mobile or tablet games, and it's kind of going to be hard to do a Silent Hills game on a phone.
No, they did
or
it.
Do a metal.
They did one.
Okay, one they didn't just axe, but a decent one, not like a simple one, or a decent Metal Gear game on your phone.
But, I mean, that's kind of what I said at the beginning. For a company that seems so disinterested in doing anything console-based, what are we actually going to see? And then you look at this and it's like, well, what works? You know what would work as a mobile game? Track and Field would work as a mobile game. Because you can swipe for speed, you can tap for jumps. Like, that would actually work.
That's not going to sell great, though. It's
no,
not. I mean, the good news is that you could put together an easy...
When has Konami made a good business decision recently?
No, but I mean, half these games, you can do a mobile Bomberman easily. They could program that in their back pocket. You can do a Track and Field game in 2 weeks. They can probably pump out a shitty mobile version of that. Or a Gradius / Parodius. They could do that. So this isn't going to be automatically, well, because you select these games, we're going to come out with a good version. No, this could be, everyone says Castlevania, we'll put out a shitty mobile version of Castlevania.
Right. Doesn't
mean there's going to be a good game coming out. This Konami has cut all these properties because, like we stated in the past, they're cutting their entire, the development team, and they're going away from consoles. So this isn't exactly, to me, a great sign on its surface. We have to see what's actually going to be announced. I mean, do you honestly think they're going to automatically come out with a console Mystical Ninja game again?
Or even do a digital re-release of Sunset Riders? Like I said, I mean, what's on the horizon after Metal Gear Solid 5? I mean, off the top of my head, I could be wrong. Prove me wrong. I don't think there's anything really coming out.
Did the last Contra, when it came out, was it Contra 4 on DS? Did that even sell that well?
No, they did. They also did a 360 one. Way Forward made Contra 4 on the DS. Eat me.
Did they do well, though?
Well enough.
Well enough.
I mean, just like the new Track and Field supposedly did well enough.
It's nice to see a Hudson Soft property make the list.
Yeah.
They should just get that Bonk game out of mothballs from 5 years ago and finish it. The thing was like halfway done. But whatever, put out for cheap. Yeah, we'll see what happens with this. I don't see them making like a Sunset Riders game ever again, personally. That was kind of like out of left field.
Well, like I said, I think it's just a curry favor with retro gamers. You look at this list, and even if these games were released, even if these games had a semi-recent release, these are all dating back to retro consoles. I'm sorry, Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid don't count as retro consoles to me, even though they got started. I mean, that's PS1. You're close, but this is stuff that goes back to NES and Genesis and Super Nintendo.
But Sunset Riders, that was a one-off game that, while it was cool, it's like when people think of Konami games, that's not the first one that sort of springs to mind.
No, it's not.
It's like, oh, it's a cool arcade beat 'em up or shoot 'em up in the arcade.
Okay, Zone of Enders doesn't go back.
Yeah, but they keep releasing those
Yeah.
collections. Pearl from Konami, who's not there anymore. Pearl previously of Konami used to show me all the cool Zone of Ender collections coming out. We did giveaways for that at the marathon.
Them, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we're not going to be sponsoring the marathon anymore.
No, probably not.
All right, so we're going to look forward to see what percentage of these 14 games are even going to come out, which one's going to be mobile versus actually on console. I'm going to say 25% of these are going to come out, and then 25% of that will be on console, which means one of those will be on console.
Right, exactly.
You're going to get like 5 or 6 track and field type of style mobile games.